speak our minds. You know, people who want the war to end, people who want the war to continue, people who are for peace, people who are against peace. You know, we all have the right to speak our minds, and I saw some really good articles and op-eds in your newspaper saying, well, you know, you agree with Cindy or not, she has the right to be speaking her mind. And, you know, that's the way I feel. But then I read a letter to the editor in your paper today that was just, you know, filled with lies, filled with innuendos and speculations. And how can your paper print that? You know, how can your paper print that my son was over there for the second time, and he re-enlisted after his first time? You know, that's an easily checked fact, that he was over there for his first deployment, and he was killed 5 days after he got there in his first deployment. How can your paper print things that are lies? How can your paper print attacks, personal attacks that are false? You have a professor here who printed something that's intellectually dishonest. He said that in my book, this book right here, that I fantasized about, you know, I saw something on, right after Casey was killed, I saw something on, I think it was The Twilight Zone. And this lady went back in time, and her assignment was to kill Adolf Hitler when he was a baby. And it was right after my son was killed. And I thought, what if I could do that? What if I could go back and kill George Bush before he caused so much heartache and damage to the world? You know, I thought that. But you know what the very next line says? I realized I couldn't kill anybody, not even a monster. So, but they don't say that. They don't say that I am against the death penalty, I am against killing for any reason, and I think George Bush and Saddam Hussein should have shared the same cell for a life imprisonment. So it's very intellectually dishonest, and I bet it was said by a man who never buried a child, who never walked in my shoes, who never walked in the same shoes that George Bush cobbled for me. But he thinks he has the right to criticize my heart and what a grieving mother thinks. And I put it in my book to be honest, to let people know what it feels like to bury a son, to bury a child for no reason, to bury a child that should still be alive. And I know that some people, they have children killed by drunk drivers, and that's not just. Some people are murdered. That's not just. Some people die of disease, and that's painful. But unless you buried a child, how can you judge somebody who's angry at the person who killed that child? No, that was George Bush for putting him there.